You are now in tune with
Mamba Radio.
Alright, what up, everybody? Thank you for tuning into Brown Mamba Radio. For those who don't know, my name is Jackson, and happy hump day to everybody out there. Hopefully, you guys are all having a good week so far on this very, very windy, very blustery Wednesday. I know there were some power outages and stuff around here on the LA area. Hopefully they're all resolved by now, and if you're affected by them, hopefully, you remember to check your fridges, change your clocks, all that good stuff. And also just be careful out there. I know there's a lot of, falling tree branches and a bunch of, LA tumbleweeds flying around everywhere. So hopefully you guys are all, being careful out there as well with the wind. But how am I doing? Oh, well, thank you for asking. I'm doing all right. As you may know, like I said, this is a very busy month for me. Got a lot going on. As I talked about last week or last episode, I had Vegas round 1 for me, so I had to make up for the lost money that I blew out there in Vegas. I've been working all week, so just been literally working. Like when I go to work tonight, it'll be my 7th shift in a row. So I'm very burnt out. I'm very ready for Vegas round 2 this weekend. Yes, I am going back to Vegas this weekend. Last week was with the homies. This weekend is going to be with the fam. So it's going to be a little more toned down. Not saying that we don't have fun or anything like that. We definitely know how to party, but definitely gonna be more PG-13 rated as opposed to NC-17, if you know what I mean. So but definitely, if you want to follow along, make sure you do so on Instagram and all that good stuff for to see what kind of shenanigans I get myself into there. Vegas is that's a crazy place, that's for sure. And I hope my liver's ready. I think it's recovered from last weekend or the other weekend, so I'll be ready to go for that. But that's what's been going on with me. What have I been fucking with lately? Thank you for asking. Surprisingly, books. I'm starting to read a little bit more. I was reading, a little bit here and there, if I saw something cool come out, like a lot of Shea Serrano's books, stuff like, sports related or anything kind of stuff like that, I would read here and there. But, most of my, I guess, I don't even know, culture isn't the right word, but, the stuff I get a lot of my information and stuff from was mainly from like reading, magazine articles on the internet or watching like video essays on YouTube and stuff like that. But, I feel like, a lot of it's kind of not getting stale because I still, that's still my number one way of consuming information and stuff like that. But I'm looking for something new, and so like I said, I started, getting into picking up books again. I'm starting off with stuff that interested me when I was younger and like in school, and I had to do a little bit more reading and stuff like that. And I don't want to sound like that fucking guy or whatever, but stuff that interested me when I was a little bit younger was a lot of like philosophy. So I'm getting into a lot of different like philosophers and like reading like spark notes on some of their stuff, and then going in and I'm gonna go try to find some of their books, and like not on Amazon, not at Barnes and Noble, but I'm gonna try to go to the smaller local bookstore, support local business. So I'm trying to do some of that. Getting into, I was really, really big into Edgar Allan Poe. I really like Shakespeare. I know I sound like I said, I don't want to sound like that guy, but that was me. I was that kid. So like I said, starting with that stuff and working my way from there. I'm going to try to go and, just kind of ease my way back into it, try to build up my my library, if you will. And yeah, it's nice. It's nice again. It's real relaxing, calming, so that's cool. I might get an Audible account just because I spend a majority of my time in my car. I got a little bit of a commute to and from work, so I might as well, just get like maybe, books on tape or whatever, like the old school way, books on tape. But like I said, Audible account sounds pretty cool. And I'm also going to be taking book recs. So if you are listening out there and you have any good book recommendations that I can add to the Brown Mamba Book Club, send them my way, please. I am more than willing and more than happy to take any recommendations. So yeah, send them my way. And then in classic me fashion, going from something that's probably looked at as maybe highbrow or high end, going all the way down to the low end. With another thing that I've been fucking with lately is that I just realized that Shoe Nice of YouTube fame is on Instagram and still being fucking Shoe Nice. If you are not familiar with Shoe Nice, I highly recommend you stop listening right now or pause listening, find the nearest computer, find some Wi-Fi for your phone or whatever, and just YouTube Shoe Nice. Shoe Nice is like an OG YouTuber sensation kind of guy. He just did the craziest shit on his YouTube account. He would like eat crazy things, like he would eat like deodorant sticks. He would eat like candles. He would eat like random things. But he got most notably famous for like just the insane amount of like chugging alcohol and other crazy things that he would do like that. Like, and these aren't like, and I'm talking, he would legitimately chug like handles of vodka and shit like that. And it wasn't like doctor or anything, because he would have a brand new bottle and you would hear the seal be broken. To crack that shit open, and he would just chug like a fifth of vodka and like other shit like that. And like I said, he is still on Instagram doing the same thing. I saw the video that I saw him that made me realize he was on Instagram still around, surprisingly not dead. Was he? I can't even keep a straight face. He put out a sparkler on his tongue. And it's as ridiculous as it sounds. He also went and I think it was like 10 cigarettes. He put 10 cigarettes out on his tongue. All to say, like, he had 10 cigarettes, all the lit cigarettes at the same time, and put them out on his tongue. And then I think he was doing something where it's like, if he gets enough like subscribers or followers or comments or whatever the hell he gets, whatever stuff he does, he's gonna chug he's gonna take like 3 different types of alcohol and pour them into one thing and chug all of them, just like classic, like I said, just classic fucking Shoe Nice. So shout out to Shoe Nice, and again, just if you haven't seen him, do yourself a favor and look up fucking Shoe Nice. But then also, last thing I'm fucking with lately is fucking wrestling, baby. I will get to all the wrestling that I enjoyed this past weekend in a little bit. But yeah, that is it's all this the main focus of this episode is going to be wrestling and everything that happened over WrestleMania weekend. So, and just want to let you guys know and just remind you out there, in case you forgot, I really love wrestling. So yeah, that's what I've been fucking with. And I don't really have like a crazy ER story. Even though I've been working a lot, I've been, like I said, I'm going on 7 days in a row. For whatever reason, and I'm not complaining, it's been very, very slow, which is always a good thing. The less sick people there are, of course, the less business we get. But you know what? Listen, there are some times where we work in the night shift. It's just like to chill. You know what I mean? You just want to chill. And it's been very, very nice this past week. So, yeah, so I probably just jinxed myself for tonight. That probably means the city's going to be on fire or something tonight, and we're going to everyone's going to get their asses handed to them. But like I said, I didn't have anything real crazy, as far as like a gnarly story, like, someone getting really hurt or real sick, maybe do some crazy interventions. But a different kind of crazy is that there was a patient that came in to the ER, and I recognized her right away because I actually I picked her up on a call years ago when I used to work on the 911 on the ambulance for this one company. And I remember seeing her, and it was good to see her because she was pretty sick when we got her. And it's good to see not good to see her in the hospital. I was, never want to meet someone in that situation, but it was good to see that she's still, doing all right, I guess, relatively. And I recognized her right away, and surprisingly, she recognized me because I back then on the ambulance you couldn't have any facial hair, and now I have a full beard, mustache. I had like a short hair, very short hair, like buzz haircut. And now I have pretty long hair now, just letting it all go, looking like a goddamn hippie. But she recognized me. I don't know how. I don't know. I really don't know how. But she recognized me, remembered me, and told me, thank you. We had a little chat. And I was like, oh, whatever. And she just thanked me for being so nice and caring to her when I picked her up. And that just it was pretty nuts. It was a little surreal, and it just really made my heart sing. And it was just really, really nice. It was really nice. And that's part of why I do what I do is because, yes, I do have this weird sense feeling in me that I just it's like a some people call it like their civic duty or whatever, they make up some weird thing for it. But and then the cliche answer is they like to help people. But I mean, I do generally like helping people. I love the medicine act part of it, and getting to do stuff like that. And I just think the human body is the most fascinating thing. Like it is truly incredible. But then again, I do like helping people, in some way, shape, or form. And I found that kind of calling in medicine and EMS, emergency medical services. And, it is nice. And, especially when you work in the field, you don't really spend a lot of time with the person. And, it says bang, bang, you pick them up, you drop them off, make sure you just get them there, and you let them do their thing in the hospital. And then it's very quick interactions. No more than like 30 minutes. But like I said, for her to remember that, it just, like I said, it was very nice. And it just goes to show that, people, remember those kind of things. You remember, when you need help and someone helps you out, or in times of need, people will help you. And you remember when they're nice, or you just remember when people are nice to you in general and stuff like that. And that was really nice. And this might sound silly, but it's just goes to show that you have to always do the right thing. And always, because you just, sometimes it's just, like I said, that really sounds silly, but like for those of people who are out there who work in EMS or anything like that, know what I mean when I say do the right thing, because it's really easy to kind of get lazy or, kind of get real jaded. Lazy isn't the right term. Jaded is the right term, because you get jaded to the fact that this is, the worst moment of this person's life, and they need help and they don't know what to do. So they're calling 911. And when you show up to that person's house, you are expected to know what to do and to help guide this person through this very difficult time. And like I said, doing it for so many years and doing it over and over and over and over and over again and seeing literally like all kinds of different things. Like I said, it's very easy to get jaded to it, and sometimes you lose that kind of that sense and that touch that you don't become in touch with it as much as you sometimes you should be. I'm guilty of it. It's happened to me before. It happens to everybody. But this was just a real nice reminder, that always do the right thing, because you never know who's watching, and you just never know, who's going to remember and stuff like that. And like I said, and then just on top of that, most people get into this profession, specifically like firefighting or police or any other kind of thing like that. And a lot of their stories are, when you ask them, why did you want to do it? They're like, well, when my mom was sick or my brother got hurt or something, everyone was so nice and it was just so cool that they did this, and that inspired me to want to do it. So that's my, I guess not crazy, that's my one ER story for the week. It was, like I said, it was just very, very, very nice and very touching. And, she's doing well now. She had to get admitted, but, it was just more of a precautionary thing. And, hopefully I'm pretty sure she's gone home by now. But, like I said, it was just real nice, really nice. And, enough of the sappy shit. Let's get to the talking shit. And let's take a look at what happened last week in the wild world of sports. Starting with baseball. like I said, baseball's underway, and the Dodgers, baby, continuing their hot streak. They swept their weekend series against the Rockies in Colorado. Didn't get the win last night against the Cardinals, but it's all right. Like I said, it's going to happen. But, yeah, man, it's just they are just fucking red hot right now. Bellinger is continuing to be on fucking fire. That guy has, as amazing as he's been so far as a Dodger on offense, he has been fucking ridiculous. Just absolute thunder in his bat. And not only getting it done at the plate, but getting it done out in the field, hosing a couple guys out there. So, like I said, Bellinger, just easily the MVP so far, the beginning part of the season, from not just the Dodgers, but for all of baseball. He's way up there. And the only real concern I have so far for the Dodgers is their relief pitching. Most notably Joe Kelly, the big free agent acquisition that the Dodgers got this offseason. Just has been fucking poo lately, man. He's got I think a 13 ERA. He's only pitched 6 innings, and it's just really, really bad, and just has all those numbers are just very bad. And, it's just real frustrating because, like I said, this was the key guy that we got in the offseason, and he's not performing. Now, I know it's early. Don't want to hit the panic button yet, but, this getting Joe Kelly, was kind of like getting him for what we got him for. That was definitely it was a red flag, saying are we sure this guy's worth it? And right now he's definitely not proving it. Some of the other guys in the bullpen, looking a little shaky, kind of picking up where they left off last year. As continuing the trend of the main weakness in this Dodger team, or the kink in the armor, being the relief pitching. Kenley Jansen still trying to find his stride. I know he had the medical scare towards the end of last season. They put him on beta blockers, which really kind of screwed him up. And if for those of you who don't know, as someone who I know, medicine affects everyone differently. Beta blockers aren't going to drastically change your physical nature or anything like that, but it can change things enough. It's like I said, Kenley Jansen was prescribed beta blockers after all the thing he had last year, towards the end of last season, and he felt that the medication just kind of had a weird effect on him, and so he said he tried to stop taking them, so he's trying to get back into things. Started out a little rough in the first outing, got out of it, got himself out of the jam, picked up a couple more saves in the last few games, and so like I said, he's just trying to find his stride, working his way there, trying to get a little more action on his cutter and all that, but it's like I said, other than that, there's no real complaints for me so far for the boys in blue. Like I said, as long as they can get it done with the bats the way they've been doing, they'll be fine. So yeah, just Dodgers looking great. Moving on down the 5, down to Angel Stadium with the Angels. Not much going on there except for Mike Trout, just as always, it seems like. But Mike Trout, man, really earning every single penny of that new $440 million contract that he's got. So, just like I said, but honestly, would you expect anything else from Mike Trout? He's freaking the best player in baseball now, and probably the best player in baseball since, obviously everyone's saying things like Mickey Mantle or whatever, but, like I said, he's, definitely earning all of his money there. So, yeah, like I said, still early in the baseball season, no panic buttons yet for any of these guys or everything like that yet. So, yeah, we'll have to see how things play out for us this season. Moving from the diamond to the hard court, or to the hardwood floor. I really just wanted to talk a little bit about, Dwayne Wade ending his career. On the final night of the 2018-19 NBA regular season, that was literally supposed to be all about the end, what turned out to be not just the end of Dwayne Wade's playing career, but the end of Dirk Nowitzki's playing career. And he dropped the bombshell on everybody right before the game, saying it was his last home game, and everyone, he got a large standing ovation. It was real emotional, real dusty over there in Dallas last night, and deservedly so. So tip of the cap to Dwayne Wade, tip of the cap to Dirk. Thank you for everything that they've done, and just hats off to great careers. And on a night last night that should have been all about those two guys, everyone talked about was Magic Johnson and the Lakers. Because unless you've been living under a freaking rock for the last, 12, 14, 16 hours, Magic Johnson out of nowhere called an impromptu press conference in the Lakers in the hallway at Staples, and surprisingly out of nowhere, effective immediately resigned and stepped down as president of basketball operations. And it was like just completely out of nowhere. No one saw this coming. Like literally, everyone was in complete shock. There were no signs of this at all, and I'm sure more details will come out about reasons why he made his decision. I'm sure he'll be glad to talk about it in some capacity. He alluded to some reasons. He was heard that maybe he wasn't trusted as much as he thought he would be, and then he felt like he was not himself. He felt like he was trapped in the job and all this stuff. He made all these things. He said he missed being the old Magic or whatever, and it's just really, really crazy, and definitely a surprise. However, definitely not unwarranted, because it was a borderline disaster all year long for the Lakers, starting from the very beginning. And I'm gonna go through some of the lowlights from the Magic Johnson era. All 82 games worth of them. First thing, starting off on the wrong foot, the first things he did was signed 3 of the first ballot Hall of Famers in the Brown Mamba Goon Squad in Lance Stevenson, JaVale McGee, and Michael Beasley. Signed those guys to 1-year deals, and everyone just said, what the hell is going on here? Then he went out and made all those promises in the now laughable press conferences that he had preseason with Rob Pelinka, saying this and that, we're going to return to greatness and all. I don't have all the exact quotes, but he just did typical Magic shit, doing all that, saying everything. And then when the season wasn't going as well as it had hoped to, kept saying all the cliche front office guy, copy paste sound bites. All the time, when clearly they didn't apply, to the situation. It's like, hey man, like we really got like there's just some serious kind of issues that there should be more. We got to do a little bit better. But he's like, oh no, we'll be there, hang in there, whatever, all that shit. You know what I mean? And then obviously the entire AD trade, Pelicans, saga that I have talked about ad nauseum on this podcast, so I'm not going to get into all of it now, but just everything that went down with the AD thing, that was obviously like probably the peak of the freaking shit mountain that was Magic Johnson's president of basketball operations is for the Lakers this year. And then with the Zubac and Muscala trade, which from everything that I've been reading and hearing according to my sources, is that pretty much the Lakers just called the Clippers and said, hey, do you guys want Zubac? And they were like, sure. Who do you want? And they were like, we'll take Muscala. And then Jerry West pretty much went, great, you can have him. And that was pretty much how it went down from everything that I'm hearing. And so, like I said, it's just from the very get-go, seemed like a skeptical thing. And, I hate to say I told you so, but I fucking tried to tell all you guys from the very beginning that this was all just a PR move. That, it was just a freaking crazy clown show going on, and just they're trying to use all these bells and whistles and flares and all these different things going on, and trying to make it this like big party or something or whatever. I don't even know what was going on. And it was clearly a PR move bringing Magic in, because clearly the thought process to bringing him on was, it's Magic Johnson, and everybody loves Magic Johnson, so he can do no wrong. Because clearly they like I said, I talked about it before. I'll just be brief. Obviously the plan was to bring in, get this AD trade done, and it didn't get done, and it all backfired, and everyone looked really bad. especially Magic. And that's probably what it was. It's just, and I know Magic Johnson, as incredible of a basketball player as he was, like historically one of the best ever on the court. Top 10, top 5 arguably all time. Best basketball player ever. Off the court, doing other things other than actually playing the game, he's been atrocious, absolutely atrocious. When he was the coach of the Lakers in like the early mid '90s, they were just terrible, and he quit like I said, immediately after the season, just kind of like similar to this. And then he had some other things that he messed up on, and now he's got this on his resume as just a terrible front office type, and it's just tough, man. It's really, really tough. And, like I said, they just whiffed. They just fucking whiffed. And that's basically, they whiffed. And, the only thing I'll say, the one good thing I'll say about this is kudos to Magic for knowing it and being man enough to say, listen, this just isn't working. And I know people are criticizing him because he said that he hasn't officially talked to Genie about it yet, and he kind of did it on his own. And hadn't really talked to anybody or anything about it. And just, like I said, just completely did it all on his own. But just, like, kudos to the man for admitting when he's wrong and admitting when he's like, listen, I'm in over my head. This is not the job for me. I can't do this. Because it's hard for anybody to do, especially in a position like he was in. So that's the only good thing from this, is that he had the at least just the something. I don't know what right now. I can't think of the right word for it. The something to admit defeat, essentially, to admit defeat. It's just a shitty way to end a shitty season. So it's just, Magic. Then listen, don't feel sorry for Magic Johnson. He is going to be fine. You know what I mean? He said that he wants to step away from this because, he has all the business things he has to take care of. He has all his businesses that he takes care of. He has all his other things that he's got going on. He's got the Dodgers that he's got to worry about. He's still part of the ownership group there. And just all the other things that come along with being Magic Johnson, he's going to be fine. And all the things that make him Magic Johnson were also the things that were part of why I was so skeptical about him being a president of basketball operations, because all these other guys and all these other, most of the successful front office types, that's all they do. They just do basketball things. They scout, they watch film, they talk to people, they're on the phone all the time, they're talking players, deals, contracts, this, that, CBAs, all that kind of stuff. So, and then Magic Johnson just had way too much stuff going on his plate for him to, to reasonably be able to, compete at the same kind of level as like someone like Jerry West across the hallway, or other successful types in the NBA. So tough way, for the season to end. They all, on top of that, they lost on a freaking buzzer beater by Mo Harkless. So there was that. It's just, where do the Lakers go from here? You hope that they can only go up. I don't quite think this is rock bottom. It's pretty close, but it's not full on rock bottom, I don't think. If this is rock bottom, rock bottom's a pretty good place to start building from. So it's there's only way we can go is up. And that's why I've harped on it before, and I'm gonna say it again. The Lakers cannot screw up this offseason and next season. They cannot. This coming season, the 2019-2020 season, the Lakers cannot screw it up at all. They have to get everything perfect, because Laker fans, once they found out we were getting LeBron, it's like, all right, our losing ways are over, and we took a step back from last season. So they cannot screw these next few months. They can't screw these next few months up. They cannot screw up this summer. Because if they screw up this summer, they're probably going to screw up next season. So they cannot screw up. So Lakers, get your shit together. Let's do this. All right? You know me. always pessimistic. I'm outwardly pessimistic, but always have to internally I have to be optimistic. I care about the Lakers too much to not be optimistic. So, Lakers, get your shit together and let's do this. All right, let's fucking do this. So, like I said earlier, the regular season is officially over, and the playoffs start this weekend. Finally, it couldn't, no Lakers in it, but that's fine. It's just there's been so much. It just feels like this is that 2-month stretch from after or 2.5 month stretch or so, whatever, from after the All-Star break until when the postseason starts. Excuse me, just feels like it drags on forever. And like I said, I'm just glad it's finally here. We can get some real good games going on into the finals and stuff. So, and I probably won't. I know for a fact I won't have a playoff preview episode this year. Like I said, because obviously I will not be here. I will be in Las Vegas, and I won't be able to record or anything. I probably won't be. It's probably a good thing that I don't. Probably won't be coherent enough to record. But I'll definitely be back next week talking, a little bit of the playoffs and stuff, and definitely trying to give out my my picks for the awards. So stay tuned for that. But enough about all that other stuff. Let's get to the good stuff, which you guys all came for. Wrestling, baby. And what a great weekend it was for some wrestling. And I'm going to try to break it down as quickly as I can. I'm not going to go over every single match and give my analysis on every single match from all weekend. We'd be here fucking forever. And besides, I'm sure if you listen to this, you already listen to other wrestling things. I'm sure you already know what happened. You know what I mean? I'm just going to give my little thoughts on it and stuff like that. But I'm breaking it up into 3 sections. The NXT and G1 Supercard from Friday, Saturday, then WrestleMania 35 itself on Sunday, and then the post-Mania Raw and SmackDown that we just got done with yesterday and Monday. So starting with the NXT TakeOver and the G1 Supercard with New Japan and Ring of Honor, it was what a great way to warm up for WrestleMania weekend with two great nights of wrestling. Just 2 great nights of wrestling. NXT TakeOver on Friday. It wasn't the best TakeOver ever. That's probably still got to be New Orleans. But it was still really, really good. And they had a lot of really good matches where just essentially the right people won. Obviously at the top, shout the fuck out to Johnny Gargano, Johnny Wrestling, for finally winning the NXT title and having a cool moment at the end where Tommaso Ciampa came out, and then even though you knew he wasn't going to be able to do anything and try to beat him down and whatever because he had his neck surgery, and also shots to Tommaso Ciampa for having successful neck surgery. Hopefully he comes back back to the way he was before, it's just. Even though, like I said, you knew nothing was going to happen, there was always kind of like that, oh shit, there he is, what's going to happen? And of course you knew that they were going to hug and embrace, and it was a nice moment. So shout out to Johnny Gargano, and shout out to all the other guys who won and girls who won. But I just want to pat myself on the back here because I called it last Friday that the Walter-Pete Dunne match could be match of the weekend, and that shit did not disappoint. Easily one of the best matches of all weekend from all the different shows. And potentially it's going to be up there for match of the year because that was just a great freaking match. If you have not seen it yet, I highly, highly recommend you find Walter versus Pete Dunne for the NXT UK championship belt. So that was great. And you're moving on to G1 Supercard. Another excellent show, as to be expected from New Japan and Ring of Honor. A Ring of Honor New Japan dual card. Obviously, like everyone's talking about it, Okada is back on top. He is back atop the mountain, looking down on everybody. He is the new IWGP Heavyweight Champion, and it's great. It just feels right, and it was booked so well where he had that little what do I do? Had that kind of existential crisis about it. Built his way back up, back on top, and it just feels right again. And that's nothing to take. And shout out to Jay White for being a great champion, and he shouldn't just be seen as a holdover champion for Okada, even though that's kind of what everyone thought at the time when he won, and all that. And like I said, he was a good champ while it lasted, and like I said, I hope it doesn't hinder him going forward. He should get it. He should still stay at the top of the card and as one of the main event players and stuff like that. So that was great. But yeah, it just feels right with Okada being at the top again. And then also what else? Oh, and then the other great matches, like a lot of great matches. Jeff Cobb, Ospreay was great. Ibushi and Naito had a freaking crazy ass match, and it was just holding your breath the entire time, hoping neither guy would get seriously hurt from all the crazy spots they're doing, just landing on their heads, on their necks. With the crazy Frankensteiner off the apron to the outside from Ibushi to Naito, like just shit like that. It was just crazy, and the only thing, the big takeaway from it was just there's now a lot of questions as to what direction a lot of the different guys are going to go. Specifically here, I'm talking about like Ospreay, since he lost the belt. He lost the Never Openweight championship belt. Naito losing the Intercontinental belt. And Jay White obviously losing the heavyweight belt. It's questions on which direction that they're going to go, but in a good way. In a good way. Because it feels like specifically with Ospreay and Naito, it freed them up from their belts so that way they can move on to potentially bigger things. Maybe we'll get Ospreay contending for the IC belt because Ospreay and Ibushi have a history of incredible matches. Naito, it feels like, is ready to move on to face Okada because obviously they've got history together as well. Jay White should stay in the top contention. Maybe he can go for the IC belt as well. Maybe he can go for the Never Openweight. Who knows what he'll do. Maybe he's gonna jump over to AEW, who knows? But like I said, it's a lot of good questions to have there. But again, just a great way to start off WrestleMania weekend with NXT TakeOver and the G1 Supercard. But the big reason why everyone was there, the 7.5 hour reason why everyone came, or everyone was in New York or New Jersey that weekend, was for WrestleMania 35. Which was very long, but still very fun. And I know it wasn't a perfect WrestleMania, but it definitely was not bad, and it was truly a feel-good show all night long. That was the theme of the night. Just a feel-good WrestleMania all the way through. Obviously, with all three baby faces winning the 3 big championships, with Becky, my fucking boo, Becky Lynch, straight for ya, becoming the champ, the double champ, Becky 2 belts, taking on Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair, coming out victorious. Oh, Becky Lynch, I'm so happy. I'm so happy that she won. Becky Lynch taking home both the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships. Kofi Kingston taking the WWE Championship belt from the new Daniel Bryan. Shout the fuck out to Kofi Kingston by, making history by not only by climbing the mountain after all the years he's been in the WWE, but becoming the first African American WWE champion. So shout out to Kofi Kingston for that. It's really incredible. And then freaking Seth freaking Rollins beating Brock Lesnar to start WrestleMania, which honestly was the perfect way to start WrestleMania by doing it with a bang. And you know what? I know some people are a little bit like, what the heck? But you like, you know what? Listen, I completely agreed with it because it's like, listen, if they're gonna take the belt off Brock, they just gotta do it. They just gotta get it over with. Every time they did it, it was with it's like with Goldberg. It has to happen, even though that was in the main event, whatever. But just if they're gonna do it, just get it over with. And they did it perfectly. They had Paul Heyman come out interrupting Alexa Bliss and Hulk Hogan, and he's like, "It felt my climb, blah blah blah. We're just do it now." And so it was like perfect. Everyone was hot. Everyone was excited. It was just completely surprising. And like I said, the perfect way to start things off. And it was the right decision because now it gets the belt off Brock. It gives it to a guy in Seth Rollins who's going to be able to defend the belt for real, and actually do something with it. And it's going to be on TV night to night and all that stuff. So that's great. And, but back to the women's match I forgot to mention, I know a lot of people are upset for the botchy finish, or was it botched? Was it not botched? Who knows? Aside from the finish, it was still a great match, a historic match, and just like I said, just tip of the fucking hat to all three of those women for putting on a hell of a freaking main event. You could tell that they were clearly amped the F up for the match, as it was a couple other spots were a little shaky, but like I said, still just a great match. And like I said, it's just a great way to end it. And just like I said, it was a really good show, or really good showing from all of them. Excuse me. And like I said, continuing with the feel good moments and all the feel good stuff. Obviously Roman Reigns winning in his comeback match against Drew McIntyre after beating his battle with leukemia. I know that there were some boos in the crowd, but I don't believe that they were genuine boos. I just feel like it was kind of like, listen, we booed him before, we're showing him respect by booing him again. And I know it can get a little twisted and confusing, there, but that's honestly what I think why they were booing him. They weren't booing him because he was Roman Reigns against leukemia and stuff, obviously, but it was more like a sign of respect, kind of like the way everyone still continues to say "you suck" with Kurt Angle. And I'm not comparing the two, but you know what I mean. It's not, they don't really mean it. It's as their way of showing respect. So, to the people out there who are getting on the fans for booing Roman Reigns, like I said, I don't believe it was malicious. I believe it was just, like I said, that's what they did before, so that's what they're going to continue to do. So, like I said, just congrats on Reigns on winning, and good to see him back. And I wonder what they're going to do with him and Rollins going forward, because somewhere down the line, Roman Reigns is going to get a title shot again. So, because they're going to pull the whole thing where I never really lost my belt. I never lost. It was taken away from me. So, that's coming. And then freaking Kurt Hawkins ending the historic losing streak by winning the tag team belts with Zack Ryder, the Edgeheads, doing their thing and surprising everybody. And it's almost like you kind of had the idea, like, are they really going to do this? Or is it really going to happen? And then, boom, it happened with the little roll-up and the small package, and they got the win. So, that was good. And then they went up, defended it on Monday night. So, it looks like they're legitimately keeping those belts, and they're not going to do they're not going to run with the losing streak angle anymore or anything like that. So there's that. Also, I know the Iconics are supposed to be heels, but them winning the tag belts, just even though they're heels, you couldn't hate on it just from their genuine, heartfelt reactions to winning. You could just see it on their faces that meant so much to them that it was hard to just hate on them. It was hard to heel out for them. It was just all you could do was just feel good for them. So, all the feel good moments. And for me, it's a tie as far as the moments that stole the show between John Cena coming out and bringing back the Doctor of Thugonomics to rap battle Elias, and to interrupting Elias to hit him with a rap battle, bringing back the chain, the actual chains, bringing back the throwback jerseys, all that stuff, bringing back the Word Life fucking knuckle rings, Word Life and theme music, all that stuff. It was crazy to see that crazy to see him bring that back. And to bring back the FU, the original name for the Attitude Adjustment was the FU for all you kids out there who don't know. And it was just great. And I was talking about it with my friend beforehand. I was like, the only way that John Cena could get a positive pop is if he comes out to save Baron Corbin in the Angle match, which I'll get to. I was completely wrong. No one saw this coming, and this was literally the best way that they could get a freaking positive pop for John Cena. Literally, this was better than anything anyone expected with John Cena. And even though I said that there's the two moments, slightly giving the edge to this moment, the moment with Shane McMahon and The Miz with their crazy super duper duperplex from that scaffold thing. And even though when they made it a Falls Count Anywhere match, we all knew something was going to happen. Like I said, I mentioned it before. Everyone mentioned it. When they made it a Falls Count Anywhere match, it meant that clearly Shane McMahon is going to jump or fall off of something very, very high I don't think anyone saw this coming, and it was still freaking crazy as hell. That crazy superplex onto the scaffolding, and then on top of that, they had it where Shane McMahon got the win, which is even crazier. So, yeah, that was definitely the moment that stole the whole show. But yeah, like I said, I did mention at the top, it wasn't perfect, and freaking Carmella didn't need to win that women's battle royal. It should have been Asuka or Sarah Logan, even though Sarah Logan would have felt really random. It would have been like, oh shit, maybe they see something in her, and it was just so dumb to have Carmella win, because the rub that Sarah Logan would have got, or the rub that Asuka would have gotten, as far as like a makeup for taking the belt off her so abruptly for the main event, the rubs that they would have gotten clearly and vastly outweighs the heat that Carmella got from winning it, and obviously it was they had her win it to get heat, but she already had enough heat, she's a former women's champion, she doesn't need this, and it could have done so much more for someone else other than her. So just a lot of people didn't agree with that. And then the Triple H and the Batista match went like 5 to 6 minutes too long, and I'm not counting that because of Triple H's entrance, which was it's WrestleMania. Triple H gets to play with all his fucking toys, you know what I mean, and do his crazy entrances. But that was, like, listen, he wants to come out on the Mad Max thing, that's fine. But, like, the 1.5, 2 minute intro video beforehand, like, where they just blatantly stole the scene from Mad Max, like, we could have done without that. Or they could have cut that to about 15 seconds. It was like, okay, we get it. It's Mad Max. They're chasing you. You're going to come out on the freaking end. Come out in a man-made or a put-together Mad Max mobile or whatever. But listen, it's freaking Triple H. So, I mean, would we have expected anything else? And I know there were some crazy spots in it, like the part where Triple H pulled out Batista's nose ring, and then the failed table spots, the I am the table. Shout out to Botchamania, shout out to Matthew. Like I said, on those, and then just the way it ended, and I think they thought that. I mean, listen, the Triple H jumping off the step to get a little bit more oomph on his sledgehammer shot. I'm sure in their head that it looked cooler, and honestly, it looked a little bit cooler than expected, but it just didn't look as cool as anyone thought. But again, that match just went like 5-6 minutes too long. You could have used those 5 extra minutes or so on the main event with a women's match, because it felt like it ended kind of abruptly. But anyway, there was that, and then obviously the worst thing of the night was Baron Corbin and Kurt Angle's match. That was an even bigger dud, even bigger than everyone anticipated it to be. And then that was just horrible, just absolutely horrible. And Kurt Angle, I know, like I said, you got to go out on your back for the guy, and you give the rub to the next guy, but that was just horrible, and it made no one looked good coming from that. And even though Kurt gave a really great speech afterwards, and it was a great moment for him to get sent off with everyone chanting "You suck," and he got to hug his wife and kiss his kids and all that stuff, and even though that was a great moment, it wasn't enough to balance out that really, really shitty match. So, like I said, it wasn't perfect, but it was still fun. It was great, feel good moments, and just it was a good WrestleMania. Really, it was a good one that's everyone went home happy, especially after last year's WrestleMania, where everybody went home going, what the hell? So that was great. And then on to the Raw and SmackDowns after WrestleMania. Usually the biggest parties of the year, it seems like, where all the marks come out and the smarks come out and just it's just like those are their days, specifically the Raw. That's their day. Kind of lackluster, both of them, specifically the Raw one. There's usually, like I said, that's when it's always crazy and everyone gets nuts and all the fans are just letting everyone have it and do all that stuff. But it felt a little lackluster. Didn't really get a whole lot of returns or debuts or anything like that. The only real return was Sami Zayn, which is great to see. Great to see him back. And the way that they're playing, or the way that he's playing this heel turn, is just fucking chef's kiss, perfect. He's playing it so well, and it's gonna make so much sense, and it's gonna be great. I just wonder. I don't know who he's gonna go against. I don't know if it's gonna be Finn Balor. He showed up on SmackDown and went, yeah, you guys aren't worth it. So I don't know what they're gonna do with that, but I like where it's going, or where it could go. And listen, if you want to count Alexa Bliss in her first match back in a while as a comeback, if you want to count Mojo Rawley and his weird new eye vein, the nerve, I don't even know what the hell it is, face paint, sure, you can call that a comeback too. Or if you want to call what everyone thinks is Bray Wyatt's comeback with all those little vignettes with the even weirder puppet buzzard wearing a Hawaiian shirt in a box thing that's going on, or a bird box, perhaps. But bad jokes aside, if you want to call that a comeback, sure. But the real return was Sami Zayn. No one saw. I mean, everyone kind of expected it, but not really. People thought he wasn't done rehabbing yet, but he's back and it's great. And like I said, but other than that, it was just him. And the only real NXT debut was Lars Sullivan, which is again great to see. Especially, what the hell? Especially considering all the stuff that happened with him. His anxiety issues, his mental health thing that was going on. It's great to see him back. And just come out and have a huge impact, taking out the legends like that, Legend Killer 2.0. But it's good to see him there. But really the only NXT debut. I know a lot of people thought Adam Cole Bebe was going to come out at some point. Maybe Pete Dunne. No one knows. Or everyone, but just if someone thought it was going to be somebody, but it didn't really help that they, air quotes here, debuted some superstars already, and Ricochet, Aleister Black. They had like Kairi Sane and stuff in the women's match and other things before, and they talked about them coming, Nikki Cross and all that. So, like I said, it doesn't help that they had them, like I said again, debut like about a month ago or so. So, like I said, we'll see. Maybe they're saving it for the Superstars Shakeup coming next week. Who knows? But yeah, like I said, even though they were, like I said, isn't the biggest takeaway from this past the Raw and SmackDown is it looks like we're getting a Becky Lynch Lacey Evans feud, which is good because it finally we're getting to see what Lacey Evans is made of. I know she's been great in NXT. I haven't watched a whole lot of her. I've seen clips and stuff like that, and she looks good. She's got a good look to her, good gimmick. It's like it's just a nice clashing of styles, but also it's a good way to, after like a couple months of like her teasing her, as this like the next big thing, and then it's kind of like, what the fuck, she's not doing anything, a la Emelina. It's good to finally throw her right into a big match feud with Becky Lynch with the champ. So that's good. The Kofi Kingston celebration was great. It was cool to see him, celebrating with his family, and then to see Xavier Woods and Big E all excited, and Big E doing the freaking splits, which should not be. Seeing that is still so fucking crazy because a guy that freaking beefy should not be able to do something like that. So yeah, but even though the celebrations were great, this weird random feud with the Bar isn't so much. It's kind of like random, like what are we doing here? Unless the only thing that I can think of is that they're going to get a singles push out of it from one of the two, hopefully Cesaro, because it seems like Sheamus is kind of on his way out, not doing as much. Hopefully it'll get a nice little feud between Cesaro and maybe Kofi. We'll see something like that come in. And then speaking of, those guys going back and having a feud and stuff, going back and forth or whatever, lots of Raw SmackDown crossover from these last 2 days. When it was the New Day and the Bar showing up on SmackDown, showing up on Raw from SmackDown, or Braun and Drew McIntyre showing up on SmackDown last night. Like I said, that was cool. It was a nice way to get everything going a little bit. Getting fans who couldn't make it to both shows, getting to see the guys that they wanted to see on either show, so that was good. What else is there from that? Still don't know if the Dean Ambrose leaving thing is legit or not. I'm still not sure. I really don't know because, yeah, he got beat up by Lashley. Good thing for Lashley to get some heat back. After losing to Finn Balor, to Demon Finn and his tongue. So good to see Lashley get a little bit of ferocity, heat back or whatever. That doesn't seem like a little pushover for losing so quickly. So it's like, okay, cool. He's going out on his back, like they should. He went out and, gave Lashley a bit of a rub. Whew, excuse me again, sorry. But But then after Raw in a dark segment, he got to come back out and have one big air quotes here because you still don't know final Shield reunion thing where they did the fist bump, whatever. And like I said, but it was after Raw went off the air. So like I said, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I really don't know if this is for real or not. And then what else? Let's see. And then Undertaker made his one appearance on a show per year thing as per his contract to meet his contract obligations to destroy Elias, and it was arguably a pretty cool segment. You know, it's like when he said "dead man," there was like a moment where it's like, whoa, but they're like, nah, that's not gonna happen. And then boom, it happened, and the gong hit and everything, and that was great. That was cool. Undertaker looking ripped off all his new protein shakes and all that shit he's been taking. And all his new, he's on that IG Fit fam, you know what I mean? So Undertaker looking ripped. Maybe, who knows? Maybe we'll see him some more. Hopefully not in Saudi Arabia. But yeah, and then again, kind of randomly, after the Usos retained their SmackDown tag belts at WrestleMania, they dropped them immediately to the Hardy Boys of all teams on SmackDown last night. So. Not sure what's going on there. It seems kind of random, but, you know, I guess the only thing is maybe it means the Usos could be freed up to go to Raw. I don't know. Maybe, because that would be great to have the Usos on Raw to help boost up and add a little bit more legitimacy to the Raw tag team division, because there's a lot of tag teams on SmackDown already. So, like I said, we'll have to wait and see about that because the Superstar Shakeup is next week. And honestly, I can't wait. It's like I said. I know I said at the top that this year's post-Mania Raw and SmackDown were a little lackluster compared to in the past. And honestly, you know what? It's not even relative. They were, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they received the lowest ratings ever for a Raw and a SmackDown after Mania. So I don't know what that says, but I mean, you know. Despite that, you know, I'm still very, very excited for the future of WWE going forward after this Mania. There's, like I said, a lot of good things going. You know, like I said, even though we didn't get any real big NXT call-ups like Adam Cole, Pete Dunne, or anything like that, like I said, that doesn't mean they won't get drafted in the Superstar Shakeup. That doesn't just mean the guys are moving. It means they can sign whoever they want. So I think even they alluded to it being like an international Superstar Shakeup, so that must mean, you know, like I said, I'm pretty sure that means Pete Dunne's getting called up or something. Maybe they'll dip into like their NXT like Asia or the NXT whatever other NXT things they've got going. So it could be anything. Like I said, I'm really, really excited. I don't know what that means specifically, but I will definitely be tuning in next week to find out. So yeah, just a really, really, really great, fun weekend of wrestling. It's been a long 5 days of wrestling, but like I said, I fucking love wrestling, and so I enjoyed every single second of it, except for the Baron Corbin and Kurt Angle match. So other than that, it was a great weekend, and yeah, let's see. That's gonna do it. Actually, just real quickly, you know, the Masters is this weekend. The Wrestlemania of golf, and the Masters. I believe right now, as I'm recording, the Par 3 tournament is underway right now. The Par 3 contest is going on, so I'm gonna have to check the replay of that. Yeah, the Masters is going on. So good luck to everybody in the Masters. And then speaking of this weekend, I know it's not sports related, but Coachella starts this weekend. I unfortunately will not be able to go to either weekend this year. As you all know, I'm going to Vegas this weekend, and then next week I gotta work. So, no Coachella for your boy this week or this year. A little upset because I want to see some of the. I really want to see some of the guys there, man, or some of the performers. I really want to see Aphex Twin. I really want to see Gesaffelstein. I want to see a lot of other people. So, gonna be bummed. Hopefully they got the live streams of it. I can at least watch that. But if you are going to Coachella this weekend, as always, like I said, like I always say, have fun, everyone. But please be safe and responsible. You know, drive safe out there. and be responsible with any of the extracurricular activities that you may or may not engage in. All right, that's all I'm going to say about that. So, but yeah, that is going to do it for me today, and probably for this week. So, like always, thank you all so much for listening. You know how much I appreciate it. And if you like what you heard, make sure you subscribe, like, share, comment, all that bullshit on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, all that good stuff. Just subscribe and listen. And if you like what you heard and you think someone else might like it, let them know. Tell them to subscribe and listen and follow along and all that good stuff. And if you want to follow my journey through life, through whatever, if you want to follow all my shenanigans from Vegas round 2 this weekend, then follow your boy on all the socials, Instagram, specifically for the shenanigans, but also Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr. It's at Brown Mamba Radio, or my personal handle JXCKSXNNN. That's 3 N's. And like always, everything is available on the website brownmamba.co. It's brownmamba.co now, not .us. brownmamba.co. That's it. Everything is there. Follow along there. And I don't want to jinx this either, but having a lot of good success with adding the songs at the end. So I'm going to continue that trend going, or keep that trend going. And today I'm going to play you guys out with a song that I've been listening to this song nonstop lately. It's Honeybee by Unknown Mortal Orchestra, another group that I would wish I could get to see at Coachella this weekend, but it's all right. There'll be plenty of chances to see them. And like I said, I've just been that song is a big vibe. I've been big vibing off this song. Just so I just thought I would spread the vibes with you guys on this one too. So I'm gonna play you out again. The song is Honeybee by Unknown Mortal Orchestra. And yeah, that's gonna do it for me. And like always, everybody, don't just have a good week and weekend. Make it a good week and weekend. And drink more water, especially if you're going to Coachella this weekend or Vegas like me. I guess I should tell myself to drink more water, because health is wealth. Please be kind to each other, everybody, please, because it is easy to be nice. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.